come, Ray. The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win. Now the 2-1. Line drive to the base. Just as they score the tying run. Green to the plate. And he is saved. Saved at the plate. The Braves go to the World Series.
Had reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines that sat when they were children and cheered their heroes.
Gibson swings and a fly ball to deep right field. This is going to be a home run. Unbelievable!
A 3-run home run for Bucky Dent. The Yankees now lead it by a score of 3-2.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mazeroski has hit a 1-0 pitch over the left field fence at Forbes Field to win the 1960 World Series.
They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past.
The Pope arrived at Yankee Stadium. As one enthusiastic announcer put it, he is standing on second base.
Reggie Jackson. Long drive right field. It is goodbye. Big World Series for Reggie Jackson.
The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run.
Back to throw. There's a left back. It's going to be, I believe, the Giants from the pennant. The Giants from the pennant. The Giants from the pennant.
The 0-1 pitch. A liner off Nagy's glove into center field. The Florida Marlins have won the World Series.
The memories will be so thick that they'll brush them away from their faces.
The 1-0 delivery to Fisk. He swings, long drive, left field. If it stays fair, it's gone. Home run. The Red Sox win. And the series is...
Lonis fires. Ball is hit high in the air. This should be the series. Freehand waving everybody away in foul territory. Detroit wins.
Here's the pitch to Willie. Here's a liner straight to Richardson. The ball game is over and the World Series is over. Willie McCovey hit it like a bullet. A line drive right
Baseball to mark the time.
The Oakland A's take.
I'll tell you what, we're having an earth.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Candlestick Park for Game 3 of the 1989 World Series.
It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again.
Frank Robinson, the right-hand batter.
Long drive to left field. Way back. It's hit back.
Base hit loaded, 1 out. Pena in a chance. The Twins are going to win the World Series. The Twins have won it.
Ozzie with 1 out. Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run. And the
Willie Mays just brought this crowd to its feet with a catch, which must have been an optical illusion to a lot of people.
This field, this game, is a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again.
Broadcasted live.
Who wants to have some fun?
There are balls coming from all over the place. Left field, center field, right field. See, this is the kind of thing, quite honestly, right now, that makes you want to see the Chicago Cubs team lose.
Now, are you just saying you want to have fun, or do you really want to have fun?
It'll be fun.
Will the next person that sees anybody throw anything onto this field, point them out, or get them out of here? You don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
That is the farthest thing in the universe from the truth.
Hello, everyone, live. It's the Dan Scott Show. And right there is your host, Dan Scott.
All
All right, good Tuesday morning to you. Hope that your day is off to a good start so far, and welcome to the program. I am your host, Dan Scott. We'll be with you for probably not quite a full hour today, and I'll explain why coming up in just a bit. But nice day, cold, but beautiful sunshine, blue skies. Was it yesterday just phenomenal? You know, after all of the just ridiculously cold weather and then the rain for the last 2 or 3 days, yesterday was just outstanding. I'm telling you guys, I was outside and it was reasonably warm, sunshine. I got the baseball bug. 18 days until first pitch thrown at Latham Stadium between Furman and Marist, and I absolutely cannot wait. I told you last week I got the scorebook ready to go, and preparations for that are starting now. But, man, can't wait to get baseball season underway. Also, you know, don't want to get basketball season over too fast, because there are a lot of crazy things starting to happen in this league, including one near monumental upset in the Southern Conference last night that we're going to talk about. But the second half of this SoCon season promises to be some entertaining basketball as those top 4 teams continue to do battle and jockey for position. Beyond that, as we saw in one case last night, you never take anything for granted. We saw it once, and we almost saw it twice. If you don't know what I'm talking about, stay tuned, because I'll enlighten you coming up here in just a bit. On the show today, because I put this out on my social media about 15, 20 minutes prior to the show beginning. As many of you know, we were out last week for multiple reasons, every day except one. And one of those reasons was that the main computer that I use to do this show, to run everything, was with Furman's IT department getting completely refurbished. It had some issues. Had gotten some kind of corruption during the last update. And bottom line is that it wasn't functioning the way it was supposed to. So we were without it. Well, I get it back, and it's running phenomenally. But I've got to reinstall everything, and there were a couple of bugs, like for some reason the desktop sound wasn't working, and had to diagnose that. And all of the programs that I use, including what we're doing to stream this show, had to be not only reinstalled, but then I'm having to rebuild all of the elements. So you can see, for instance, the Atlanta Bread commercial, the Hollis Chop House logo, and right on down the line, the Today's Show bug, and all of those things. All those things have to be rebuilt. And because of the late start and some other factors, I'll just be real honest with you. I didn't secure a guest for today. So what I'm going to do is we're going to replay the David Abernethy interview that we did yesterday. For those of you who may not have seen it or may not have seen it in its entirety, you'll get a chance to do that again. The Furman strength and conditioning coach who is leaving us to go into the private sector to help sell and promote the Tsunami Bar that he and his partner engineered back in 2011, 2012, and now getting to go work full-time to help make that dream even more of a reality. And we're just incredibly happy for David. But he'll explain all of that, how it came about, what the Tsunami Bar is. If you missed it yesterday, you'll get a chance to see it today. I can tell you this. Spring practice here at Furman starts on Friday, incredibly early for spring practice. They're going to do it starting on Friday, and then leading up to that, hopefully, before everything is said and done, we are going to get Clay Hendricks on the air, and still working on getting Connor Shaw on the air. Tracy downstairs is working to secure that now, as a matter of fact. In fact, one of them may pop up here unannounced today. If that happens, then we won't replay the David Abernethy interview. But that's our plan right now, without knowing anything else. And I know those of you who've known me for a long time know that I don't know much of anything else. So just keep that to yourself. The show, as always, brought to you by our friends at the Atlanta Bread Company, located in Cherrydale Plaza, just down the road from Greenville. Had breakfast there this morning, and my report remains consistent. The food was fantastic. The people were even better. The coffee was hot. Just had a phenomenal time. It's a great place, especially in the mornings, for me personally, to go and kind of get my mind right, get caught up on some of the day's news updates from overnight and early in the morning, and just get ready to come in here and hopefully do a good job. I know that also remains to be seen sometimes. But the food is great. The people are better, and they've done such a wonderful job of helping this show get on and stay on a regular basis. That's the Atlanta Bread Company, Cherrydale Plaza in Greenville, just down the road from campus here. Tell them you heard about them on the show, and you'll hear more about them in this commercial set. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey Furman fans, it's baseball season. Here at Ingalls, we know that as you root for the home team, sometimes you want more than just peanuts and Cracker Jack. And while we do deliver on your favorite ballpark classics, we're proud to offer a packed lineup of everything you need to make your next meal a home run. Ingalls, a proud sponsor of Furman Baseball and the official grocery store of Furman Athletics. Go Dins!
The Atlanta Bread Company at Cherrydale Point offers a dining experience that will have you coming back for more time and time again. Everything is freshly made on site, including the different varieties of bread and all the baked goodies. And the menu, Atlanta Bread Company offers a wide variety from hot soups and chili to hot and cold sandwiches and paninis. Even breakfast selections topped off with your choice of piping hot coffees. Come see for yourself. You'll love it. The Atlanta Bread Company at Cherrydale Point, proud sponsors of the Furman Paladins and the Dan Scott Show.
Looking for a good lunch spot in the Travelers Rest area? The Cafe at Williams Hardware is your place. Williams Hardware has food for the whole family, from the famous Reuben to the barbecue chicken quesadilla and their daily lunch specials, which includes the award-winning BLT unpimmented cheese with pepper jelly, served Tuesday to Thursday. Williams Hardware also serves breakfast on Saturdays from 8 to 11, perfect before Furman home game. And don't forget the gift shop, which offers items for anyone on your list. Go see your friends at the Cafe at Williams Hardware, 13 South Main Street in downtown TR. Full menu and operating hours at the Cafe at WilliamsHardware.com.
So you've got a busted phone or tablet screen. Time to get a new device? Nope. Time to give it CPR. CPR Cell Phone Repair at Cherrydale can repair almost any phone or tablet screen on the market and usually can do it same day. In fact, if you have an iPhone, the fix usually takes less than an hour. CPR Cell Phone Repair also can fix computers and gaming systems, both screens and hard drives. And they sell refurbished devices and new accessories. Stop by and see the new owner, Janet Culver, today, and check them out on Facebook. That's CPR Cell Phone Repair at Cherrydale, 864-282-9097. Give it CPR today. $10:12 in the morning, and we are back with you. Good to have you along with us on this edition of the show. I'm Dan Scott, and we are hanging out here live in the press box, my office, the radio studio here at a radio booth here at Paladin Stadium, overlooking the visitor stands, and out towards Paris Mountain is a beautiful, beautiful view here today. All right, we've been threatening and talking about and saying we're scheduling the show we're going to do at Hall's Chop House. Well, we can threaten no more. On Friday, we'll be there at Hall's Chop House from 10 to 11. Now, they won't be open, but what we'll be doing is kind of giving you a look at everything they have and encouraging you to come out when they open that evening for dinner, every night for dinner during the week, 7 nights a week. They're open Sundays for brunch, and we are looking forward to getting down there, hanging out with Billy. You get a chance to meet him and talk with him here on the show. Huge Furman fan, and the family has really thrown their weight behind Furman's athletic department when it comes to support, and we're looking forward to getting down there and spending some time with them. Allen Brothers Prime Steaks, that's where it all starts on the menu. And don't forget the ample meeting space they have to get your corporate event off the ground or birthday, anniversary parties, whatever you have. they've got it. Graduation parties, maybe, any type of get-together. That is Hall's Chop House, the Greenville Steakhouse located in downtown Greenville. All right, on the scoreboard in the Southern Conference last night, there was one huge upset and one nearly monumental upset. The huge upset was Chattanooga defeating Greensboro 87-85 in Chattanooga at the Roundhouse. Chattanooga now just 8-15 overall on the season, but Rodney Chapman made a pair of free throws with 4.3 seconds left, and Chattanooga knocked off Greensboro 87-85. He drove the basket, drew the blocking foul against Francis Alonso, who fouled out on that play, and UNC inbounded to half court. Miller actually got a look from about 6 feet to tie the game, Isaiah Miller, but it rimmed out. Nat Dixon, a career-high 30 points to lead the Mocs. Chapman ended up 22. Now, check this out. Chattanooga led by 6 in the final 139 of regulation and blew that lead, but then came back from down 7 in the final 34 seconds of the first overtime to tie it and send it to a second overtime. So that was a wild one down in the Roundhouse, and Chattanooga ends up getting the victory by the score of 87-85 in 2 overtimes. Meanwhile, in Charleston, the Citadel had a three-pointer at the buzzer that would have beaten ETSU, the top team in this league. It missed, and ETSU held on for dear life. 73-71 was the final there. They won it behind a career-high 23 points from DeSante Bradford, also had 9 rebounds. Bo Hodges had 19 points and 9 boards. 13th straight win overall. ETSU is 10-0 in the league. Frankie Johnson missed an open layup for the Citadel with 21 seconds left. Then Jalen McLeod hit 1 of 2 at the line to give ETSU a 70-68 lead. Citadel turned it over in the backcourt, and then Bo Hodges hit 2 free throws at 12.5. But Matt Frierson nailed a long three-pointer to pull them within 72-71 with 7.6 to go. They fouled again. McLeod hit 1 out of 2, and then Johnson drove the length of the floor, found freshman Alex Reed in the corner for an open 3, but it bounced off, and ETSU escaped with the win. Zayn Najdawi, 18 points for the Bulldogs in defeat. And remember, that's where Furman's going to be on Saturday down at the Citadel. The other 2 games in the league last night, Wofford at home beats Western Carolina 77-68, and Samford rolled over visiting VMI 93-79. So your league standings after last night look like this. 4 teams now have played 10 conference games. ETSU, which is 10-0. Samford, which is 4-6. And then at the bottom of the league, both Chattanooga and VMI are 2-8. Everybody else has completed the first half of the schedule, 9 games. So ETSU 10-0. UNCG, with that loss, drops into a tie with Wofford for second place at 7-2. And then comes Furman at 6-3. 2 games ahead of Western Carolina, who's 4-5. Samford 4-6. Mercer 3-6. The Citadel 2-7. Chattanooga, VMI, as we mentioned, each 2-8. So the thing that you've got going on now in this league is there's starting to be a pretty clear separation between the top 4 teams and everybody else, at least as far as records go through the first half of the season. The top 4 teams, ETSU has kind of run away from everybody to a certain degree. They're 2 games, 2.5 games up on UNCG and Wofford, 3.5 up on Furman because they've played the extra game. But then UNCG and Wofford just a 1-game lead over the Paladins as we begin the second half. So that top 4 continues to battle it out. And then you've got everybody else. Western Carolina is 2 games behind Furman in 5th place. Samford is a half game behind Western Carolina, and then on down the line. So, the league last season, you had, for instance, you had Samford with a 20-win season, I think a year ago, or 19 wins a year ago. The number of teams with winning overall records, not where it was a year ago. Now, again, we've got time for that to turn around. Western Carolina, Samford, both have an opportunity to finish with winning records, and technically, I guess everybody does. Mercer would be at 3-6. They're 3 games under 500 in the league. But you're not getting the depth in the league that we had a year ago, so it's really starting to show now a separation. It's kind of ETSU at the moment here by themselves, and then just a notch below UNCG, Wofford, and Furman, and then you got everybody else. Western Carolina and Samford kind of hanging right there in the nether region, and then just completely out of the picture for the moment anyway. You'd put Mercer in that category with Citadel, Chattanooga, and VMI. Furman goes to Mercer on Thursday night. It's going to be intriguing to see what that looks like. I'm going to be intrigued to see how many fans are in the stands, because looking at what we could see TV-wise on Saturday, there were some uncharacteristic empty seats down at Mercer for their game. Furman coming to town Thursday night probably won't be the same thing. It'll probably be packed, but we'll wait and see. But anyway, that's a look at the league. Near monumental upset last night. ETSU came within a hair of losing on the road. And I think I saw where they were like 2 of 23 from the three-point line, or some crazy number like that. Here is your schedule for Thursday in the league. At 6 o'clock, Citadel and Wofford will tip off. 7 o'clock games include Mercer at Furman. Let's back up. Wofford is at the Citadel. SoCon's schedule, when you look at their website, they do this crazy. They put the home team on the top. And somebody who spent 10 years working for newspaper and doing things by AP style, the home team is supposed to go on the bottom. So it is Wofford at the Citadel, Furman at Mercer, also at 7 o'clock. Samford is at ETSU. VMI is at Greensboro. And Chattanooga is at Western Carolina. All that is on Thursday. And then Saturday's schedule, Furman at the Citadel, Chattanooga at ETSU, Wofford is at Mercer, Samford at Western Carolina, and I think that is it as far as the schedule is concerned. So there you go. Look at the schedule upcoming this weekend. Look at what happened last night. And now the Powellans begin the second half of the conference season on Thursday down in Macon, Georgia against Mercer. Quick break. We'll come back, and David Abernethy's interview will be up with us next here on the Dan Scott Show. We'll be back right after this.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, finances, insurance? Then let State Farm agent Steve Borkland in Traveler's Rest help you simplify and get to a better state. Because with Steve handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time for everything else. More money, too, because adding State Farm policies could mean earning discounts worth up to 40%. That's money Steve can help you put towards a college savings plan. Call State Farm agent Steve Borkland today and get to a better state with State Farm.
Let me tell you something, Cowboy. This rookie can really bring the heat.
He's smoky and spicy with a Chipotle style all his own.
It's a new Montgomery Inn Chipotle barbecue sauce. Make it a part of your home team.
Available now at your neighborhood grocer or online at CincyFavorites.com.
The madness begins here. Make sure you're at the U.S. Cellular Center in Asheville, North Carolina, March 1st through 5th for the 2018 SoCon Basketball Championships presented by General Shale. Watch your favorite SoCon teams compete for a championship and a berth in the NCAA tournament, and take part in exciting events like the Downtown Dribble and the Ingles Jam Fest. Book your travel and tickets by logging on to SoConHoops.com or by contacting the U.S. Cellular Center box office. The madness begins in Asheville. Get your tickets today.
Hi, welcome back to the show. Dan Scott here with you on this Tuesday edition of the program. I was just scrolling through the Facebook comments section, and Scott Keeler from the Furman Sports Report pointed out, we talked about how poorly that ETSU shot the ball from three. Well, in that Greensboro loss at Chattanooga, Scott reports that UNCG went 9 out of 38 on three-pointers last night, including Francis Alonso missing 12 out of 16 shots he took from behind the arc. I mean, you talk about, hey, no conscience, just keep shooting to go 4 of 16 and keep launching them up as an individual, much less the team going 9 for 38. That is, you live by the three, you die by the three, right? And they died by it last night. Let's see, what else are we going to do? Oh, first of all, I need to remind you about OpSource Staffing, which has 5 branches: Greenville, Spartanburg, Gaffney, Charleston, and also Arden, North Carolina, providing contractors to companies in the manufacturing industry, everything from welders, pipe fitters, construction, all the way down to skilled trades, CNC operators, industrial labor, and everything in between. They're an independent, faith-based, privately held staffing, recruiting, and workforce management company that began back in 2007 with a mission to serve and connect great people to great companies. With OpSource, it's all about the relationship and not the transaction. They believe that by building relationships, they'll become an integral part of your overall staffing experience. To find out more, give them a call at 866-870-8133. That's toll free, 866-870-8133, or you can just go online to OpSource. You see it there, opsourcestaffing.com. All right, on yesterday's show, we had a chance to visit for an extended period of time with David Abernethy, the outgoing strength and conditioning coach here at Furman. Has done such a phenomenal job with the athletes here during his 6 years at this school, but has an opportunity now to chase a dream, and he'll explain that and what the Tsunami Bar is as we revisit our interview from yesterday with David Abernethy. Take a look. Right now, though, we want to turn our attention to our guests. It's not Bob Ritchie any longer on the board here. This is David Abernethy, the strength and conditioning coach here at Furman University, and that will only be true for about another week because David is leaving us to go into the private business world, but working on behalf of something that he helped develop, which has to be very, very exciting, I would imagine. David Abernethy, congratulations. It's going to be, I think you used the word bittersweet when you sat down in here a minute ago during the break. It's going to be that way for all of us, but I got to tell you, we're all happy for you.
Thank you, Dan. I'm excited. You know, it's you get close to a place like this, you get close to the players and the staff and administration and the faculty. It's just a special place, so it's tough. But at the same time, God gives you opportunities in life, and everybody's different. Everybody's unique, and God has put something unique in all of us. And this is his gift he's given me, and it's really taken off. And we started this company 2011 when I was at Clemson, and it's just blossomed tremendously. And I never thought it would be worldwide, but we're in China, Dubai, 8 NFL teams, and believe it or not, we're in the Eagles actually bought it the offseason. So I'm not saying it got them to the Super Bowl, but it didn't hurt them. You know?
It certainly didn't hurt matters.
So
all right, let's what is it? The Tsunami Bar. Tell everybody what it is. I should have had you bring one here so people could see it on the video. But tell everybody what it is first, what it's designed to do, and then we'll get into how it all came about.
Okay. What it is, Dan, it's a barbell that bends. And so basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to use physics to develop the forces instead of actual weight. So you put weight on the bar, but the faster you move it, the more force you develop. And so it becomes more like the game of football or basketball or sports in general. And so if you've ever wrestled with somebody, that's what the bar is like. The harder you wrestle against it, the harder it wrestles back at you. And so that's how the bar works. It works through a process called proprioception. And you have these sensory receptors in your body that tells the muscle how to respond, how to react, and how to do things. Your body can actually use 600 muscles at one time. So this will stimulate the central nervous system, the skeletal muscular system, but at the same time develop better awareness of where you are. You know, that's the tough thing I think athletes have is awareness. It's all about movement. You know, sometimes we use dead weight and we're getting stronger, but we're not moving better. You know, we have the strength. Now we want to build that strength and then go get that strength, go recruit it. Just like a college coach would go find the best players.
Yeah.
The Snipe Bar's going to go and recruit that muscle that you've built to be able to perform the job better.
So the concept, again, is if this pen is a weight bar, you can see a normal weight bar is sturdy, it's strong, it doesn't bend.
Right.
But you get the illusion of it bending when you do something like that, like it's wobbling back and forth.
Right.
That's what the Tsunami Bar actually does. So as you're going up and down with it, in effect, both ends, I hate to use the word flapping, but that's almost what they're doing.
Right. It looks kind of like a pterodactyl in a sense, you'd say. So basically, it's also safer because if you look at a standard bar, all the force goes to the point of contact. Where if the bar bends, then it kind of wraps around your body, whether it's on your back, on your shoulders, or in your hands. Then the weight's going to wrap around, which is going to recruit more muscle throughout the body to be able to use.
How did all of this come about? And there's an interesting story when you start putting things into the kind of perspective that you were talking about a moment ago and what God will do for you. The interesting story about where it began and then how it's come full circle just this week.
Right. Well, how it really began was I spoke at a conference at Wofford College when I was at Clemson. I was a senior assistant strength coach at Clemson. I spoke there, talked about speed and dynamic training and force development. And so there was an engineer there, Gordon Brown, that was at the conference. And then after I left the conference, he called me. I left my number. I was one of the speakers there. And I left my number on my presentation. He called me and said, I want to talk to you. I want to show you something. And he brought in this small little piece of fiberglass and a little tube. And he said, what can we do with this? I'm like, well, for me, not a whole lot, you know. And then from there, we kept making it longer and fatter until it became a barbell. And that's kind of how it all developed. The whole idea at Clemson, I worked with the O-line tight ends. We were trying to be able to make their hands punch faster. That's all we're trying to do. How can I get their hands to get quicker and faster? And then we put weight on the bar and we realized the bar would bend, and we got an unbelievable pump, and you were tired from it because it's stimulating your central nervous system. So everything's getting worked. Your heart rate just spikes immediately. And from that point on, we started squatting with it. We started doing pass sets with it, and then it kind of took off from there. And it's kind of ironic that Wofford called me to come back and speak this Saturday after a clinic again. It's kind of gone full circle. So God is – I laughed. I said, God, you got a sense of humor. You know?
So from those humble beginnings back in 2011, I've been kind of privy to this whole thing to a certain degree from the beginning. I know there's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into the making of it, the marketing of it, the development of it, the selling of it, and there's not been a whole lot of return come your way or anybody else's way because everything has kind of been going back into the business, right? I mean, this has not been what's the old saying? You know, it took me 10 years to become an overnight sensation. That's kind of how this bar has been.
Yeah, it's 2011 is when we started working on it.
Yeah,
we took it to business to the market 2012, May of 2012, at the big college strength coaches show, and that was our first presentation of the bar. you know, to get a business going, it's a lot. People know that do business know it's a lot of paperwork and legalities and things you got to take care of, the investment and everything. And we partnered up with a company out of Columbia called Performance Strength Designs, who that's the company that wants to bring me on to push this and go to the next level. But their dealership is called Total Strength and Speed. And so we're going to work side with them. My new title will be Education Director and Director of Sales and Marketing there. So we'll go with them, and it affords me a chance to travel and share what God has shared with me, you know, and I'm excited about it.
As I said, though, I mean, from 2011 until now, I know that basically everything that you've gotten out of this thing has gone right back into the business. So this is going to be the first time, really, that I don't know if even profit's the right word, but you've been paid on behalf of this bar.
Right, right. Well, we made we recouped, I should say. We haven't made money, but we recouped our investment. So the bar has made money, but I haven't, you know. And so I'm looking forward now, after all this time, to actually, you know, get to reward my family a little bit, you know, because you keep promising, you keep telling them, hey, you know, it's coming, just stay with it, you know. And my dad's a farmer, and sometimes you sow the seed in the ground and the rain doesn't come. And you just got to keep re-sowing the seed and keep putting it back in the ground and wait for the rain to come. That's what I told these players this summer, too. I said, guys, the rain's coming. You keep working, because they've worked for years here. And then I told them, say, you know what? They brought a great coaching staff in here, and the rain's coming. And it did this year, you know. It even rained at times to remind them of that, you know. And so it's a great analogy, you know, to transfer to our players as well.
This is David Abernethy. He's the outgoing strength and conditioning coach here at Furman, going into the private business sector to continue the marketing and sales of the Tsunami Bar, which is in use here at Furman's weight room, and will continue to be, as well as weight rooms all across the country, collegiately, NFL, I guess even some high schools are using it.
Right, high schools, especially in South Carolina, because that's our touch. That's where we can touch and teach. You know, it's so different that you do have to teach, and so that's where I'm going to be able to step in and teach people how to use this. It's so unique. But you know, we're even across the world. I mean, you think about the Chinese that have bought it, the Olympic team, so that have invested in it, and they did a CrossFit Games in Dubai. You know, and I never thought Clemson, South Carolina, a piece of fiberglass and thermoplastic would affect someone over in other countries. You know,
but it has. Was this a difficult decision for you to make?
Very, very. I met with a lot of people to talk about it and counsel on it, just because I put 20 years into strength conditioning coaching, you know, and it's not easy to walk away. It's not easy to walk away. I'll be here 6 years. I would have been here 6 years in July 1. And when you invest that much time and relationships and stuff, it's tough, you know. And I'm a very relational person, and so that, to me, that's a lot of value. I put value in relationships, and so that was tough. But I kept praying to God, like, God, if you don't want me to do it, stop me at any time, please, you know. But He kept leading me, kept nudging me, and you know, I'm going to step out of the boat and see where God's going to take us here.
Was there any one moment where you had that clarity that, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah, you know, right before I went in to meet with the president down there, just told him that, hey, I need this to be able to step away. And I prayed, I said, God, if I can get this, and they didn't even blink, you know. So they believe in me. They believe in our product. And then I said, you know what, God, I trust you. Let's roll. And so, you know, my wife, she was a little nervous at first, but she's come around to it. She's excited. My family's excited. I'm going to travel a good bit. So instead of being in one box, I'm going to be in a lot of boxes, you know, go see a different box and help, you know, young coaches. I look at it as a ministry too, as not just ministering here. I get a chance to minister to young coaches that may be struggling, may have young families. You know, my kids are 13 and 9 now, and
which is hard to believe, by the way.
You know me. We went to church together
Yeah.
when my son was born and when Maddie was a baby, and so you know how hard it is as a coach to raise young kids, and so hopefully I can use it as a ministry too to bless young coaches and encourage them. And I tell you another thing. I went to the Charlotte conference this year, the AFCA, and I had a chance to talk to some coaches, and they were interviewing and stuff, and I had a chance to minister to them a little bit and pray with them, and it just, I don't know, that right there is when it kind of sparked, to be honest with you. It kind of like, man, this is kind of cool right here, you know, and so I guess God maybe, you know, God knows your heart, and he said, well, all right, big boy, let's see how serious you are, and so he just kind of led me to it.
David Abernethy joining us here on the show as we continue to talk about his moving away from Furman and into the private business sector with, is it fair to call it your baby, the Tsunami Bar? It is kind of your baby, isn't it?
Well, my partner too, Gordon Brown.
Yeah.
He and I are 50-50 partners, and he's the engineer, and I'm the brawn behind it all. So I've worked it, moved it, and he would ask me, how's it feel? What do we need to change? What do we need to do? And he'd go back. He's very meticulous with numbers, and he can just see numbers like if you can imagine a brain and his numbers popping out. That's Gordon. It's kind of a unique deal. I'm 42 and Gordon's 72, and so
really,
yes, and so it's a unique combination. He's from the engineering side, the business world, and I'm from the athletic side, and so it's kind of unique how God took two minds and put them together to create something that could really change. You know, I really think it's going to revolutionize how people train. You know, as people more and more people are buying into it now. They see the benefit of it. They understand it. They're just a little bit scared of it. So you got to educate them.
Well, and it's like anything else, any new product that comes along. If you have been doing things the same way and getting results, quite, you know, let's say it, the strength and conditioning coaches all across this country have been getting results, doing things the quote unquote old fashioned way. You are going to naturally kind of raise a skeptical eyebrow at a new product, because I'm sure they see new products all the time that are supposed to revolutionize the strength and conditioning world, just like you see any kind of product say that in any kind of industry. But to get the chance to get in front of them and actually show them the benefits of this thing, once they see it and understand it, then they've been jumping on it.
Yeah, they have. You just got to feel it to know it. You know, that's the thing. It's the feel. And when you look at it first, like when James Harrison, he's probably our biggest, I guess, notoriety of to date. He put it on his Instagram site or Facebook or something, one of those social media sites, and it had like 3,300,000 hits or whatever. And you know, and Fox, it was top 5 or top 10 of Fox Sports of 2016 of their videos they put out. And they're like, whoa, James Harrison broke the bar. Well, hold a minute. No, it's a jiggly bar, you know. And so he had a ton of weight on there.
Yeah.
And so you just got to feel it to understand it. And if you play the game, you understand it, you know. So it's exciting. You know, we don't want to take away the steel bar, but we just want to enhance it. We want to make it better, be able to move more weight, move it faster, and be safer. I mean, it's just safer. We can get maximal forces using physics instead of loading a kid up and taking a chance of getting him hurt trying to get a max.
So you can get more accomplished with less weight.
You can do more with less, and then you know the result is safer. It's better. You don't have to change weight around. You just move the bar faster. You know, what's going to be cool in the future? We're going to be able to put a accelerometer on the bar, and then you'll be able to actually read how much weight you're doing exactly at each point of the lift. So as it gets to the top and the bottom of the lift, it gets heavier. As it goes in between, it gets lighter. So the weight is not constant on you. But if you move weight and you got to handle weight, you got to handle the movement, your body still has to recruit from the muscular system to be able to handle it. The body has been made to be able to pick up a kettlebell or pick up an egg. It's amazing how our hands can grab an egg and not break it, but at the same time pick up a kettlebell and pick it up, you know. So that's how uniquely we are made, you know. So that's what we're trying to enhance.
As your time here at Furman comes to an end, you look back on, in effect, 6 years with the program here. What are you going to take away with you? Any memories that stand out?
Oh, yeah. Just the kids. I love the kids here. Just the coaches, all the different teams you had a chance to work with, and all the different kids I've had a chance to work with. Just the people on campus are unbelievable. The community here. It's really people ask me about Furman, and I'm like, hey, this is a great job. This would be a job that you would want. There's really not a negative to it, in my opinion, from my standpoint, from my job. The only thing about my job is tough sometimes, and this is any place, not Furman, is just the hours you got to put in, to be successful at what we do, because you're trying to work around classes. So you got to be early in the morning, you got to be here late in the evenings to get around the classes. That's not Furman. That's the strength conditioning.
Mhm.
But it's just the people are great. Just the faculty. Got a chance to work the exercise science department a good bit. They actually done research for us that helped out their students. That's actually helped them work on their, writing papers and getting published. And so we just took the information and tried to help our athletes. And so it's been a lot of fun. This has been a special place to me. Brooks, my son, and Maddie, they love it because, Maddie would love women's basketball. She'd come to basketball camp here, and Jackie would, I'd work with Jackie, and she would take care of my daughter, and Brooks would come and do football camp here.
Mhm.
And so that's probably the one thing. We can't go to camp anymore. You can still go to camp here. I won't be working over here. You can still go to camp. But Brooks is like, well, who am I going to pull for now, Dad? I'm like, well, Furman. He's like, yeah, that's right. So, we live over in the Clemson community, so it's a little different. His friends love Clemson, but
Yeah.
he's the one true Furman kid over there in that community. He loves it.
That's great. I would imagine that for you, like for everybody else around here, the dramatic turnaround of this football program this past season had to be extremely satisfying, because I know that you put in the work in the past. There's no question about that. But the success that this team had, I know, made kids want to work even harder. And in talking to some of the other folks on your staff, it's made getting into the off-season workouts even easier now, because there's a lot more enthusiasm than there was in previous seasons coming off of losing campaigns.
Right. Well, the old saying back in the day was winning takes care of everything.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take care of everything, but takes care of a lot of problems, and just the enthusiasm that the guys had coming in was awesome. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of the guys that hung in there and stuck through the tough times. I think of a guy like Matt Schmidt, who just worked his tail off the whole time, and then he got all these accolades at the end. He wasn't an overnight success either. He worked for 4 years for that.
Yeah.
And then the coaches came in and helped nurture him, and it just opportunity met, our coaches, and it rolled. And so it was just really good. I feel like we left it in a good place. Furman's on the way up. It's still climbing. It's not, there's still a ton of upside for Furman, and they're going to reach it and go a long ways with it. But that's what's tough. We went through the tough times, and now the good times are ahead. So that's what you want, though. You want to leave it better than you found it, and I feel like we've done that.
So your last day as an official Furman employee is coming up, right?
The 5th, February 5th.
Yeah.
So I worked a 2-week notice last Monday, and that was tough. That was tough telling everybody that gave me an opportunity. Lane Baker gave me an opportunity here, and I'm just thankful for the opportunity she gave me. She's been great to work with, and I'm just very appreciative of the opportunity she gave me.
I have to share this story because I know that you and your wife Kelly were kind of keeping this thing quiet for a while, and then last week it shows up as a job opening on the college AD website and on Twitter, and our athletic director Mike Buddy retweeted it. So that's how I saw it. I texted you, and then Angela, of course, she's more worried about, are those babies leaving me, or are they moving somewhere? Once she found out you weren't moving, she was fine. But Kelly said, well, now that it's out there, we probably need to start telling people, because you know how this business is. There's some people who are going to see that job opening and think David got fired.
Yeah.
And that's the nature of this business. But obviously that's not the case. Everything was going well here, and just had a better opportunity come along.
Yeah, that's where it was, and that's where the bittersweet comes in, because I know where Furman's going.
Yeah.
And it's going to be special. It's going to be, it's getting there. I mean, it's there now. There's a foothold. There's a foot in the door right now, and not just football, but basketball. All our sports are just doing really well, and it's fun and exciting to watch.
All right, that was the majority of our interview with David Abernethy from yesterday. And he's going to be missed around here. He's done a lot of great work, but we wish him nothing but success as he moves on to this next chapter of his life. And I think the overall overriding theme in this whole thing is my wife is happy because his wife and children are still going to be here. They're not moving. Our families go back a long way. Just great people, and we're real happy for David, even though we're sorry we're losing him from here. Mentioned that we're going to have to cut it a little bit short today because I am heading over to the student radio station and going to help them with some technical stuff as they're getting their online broadcasts fixed and off into a better category. So I'm going to go help Rob Dendy, the student station manager, with that. Before I go, though, just a reminder about Ridge Media, located here in Greenville, one-stop shop that does logo, print, and website design, as well as search engine optimization and marketing. Clients range from startups to Fortune 500 companies. A locally owned marketing firm with offices in Greenville and Charleston. Find out what they can do for you. Give them a call at 864-354-6157. It's 354-6157, and that is a free consultation. Ridge Media, tell them you heard about them here on the show. Back with you tomorrow. Dave Glenn will be with us, and who knows what else. It's the Wednesday edition of the program coming up. And until then, have yourself a great rest of your Tuesday, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow here on the Dan Scott Show. Until then, I'm Dan saying God bless you, and so long, everybody.